What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. This weekend was shaken up in one of the biggest ways as Burning Abyss took down Euros. It was a crazy weekend to say the least. I believe it bested Pendulum in the finals, and Sky Striker Trickstars, although they showed up, did not show out very well. And it's always crazy over there. It's kind of like a different format at times, and this just shows innovation isn't dead, as Gallis was actually used along with Photon and Rescue Cat to make either Naturia Beast, or you could just bring out two Gallises and go ahead and make Dante. Pretty crazy stuff. And because he played Sekka's Light, he was actually able to use this no matter what to get it out, unless he got extremely unlucky. But the prices here are going crazy for Gallis. Tons of people want to try this out just in time for Nationals. They want to make sure they have the option in case they're considering it, and prices are going crazy. You see all these are new listings. I think this will settle down. I actually played this once upon a time in X-Saber format in a Monster Mash deck. Those have not been a thing for a very long time, but this comes from the GX Tag Force, which used to be a European game, and I think exclusive, so I shouldn't have played it at the Nationals I played it at. But we see it here at $14 before just ridiculous prices. And there's actually some cool collector's cards out of this, like the Red Eyes Weaving right here, at a pretty decent price for near mint versus its market price. That's actually really cool. Some of you guys might want to go snag that if you've been waiting for your collections for that variant. There are other super rares of Weaving, but the star of the show, obviously, here is Galis and Rescue Cat as well, going pretty crazy market price-wise. Actually, that's new, I think, since I just refreshed my tabs. It was like lowest 22. We see somebody actually near market price, reasonable. Oh, it's Adam Korn. Weird that he would be reasonable and trying to make actual sales in a crazy market. Then we have Rescue Cat, Duelist Saga, at a little bit above its usual market price, just like $1.25 above. And then the other copies just up a little. There's so many variants that the commons can't really go too far and too crazy. And keep in mind, this is errata. You'll want to go to the Duel Saga to see the text. It negates their effects, so not the biggest thing, and destroys during the end phase. The whole point is to either summon two Gallises, which are also threes that can summon themselves out of the deck unless you're extremely unlucky and you hit Sekka's Light instead, because Gallis just basically summons itself. If you read Gallis here, you reveal this card from your hand and send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. You're playing mostly monsters, so you would have to get so unlucky for it to be Sekka's Light, and then if the card's a monster, you inflict damage to your opponent times the level and special this. So it does a little burn too. Time rules. But realistically, that application shouldn't be doing too much, even though you have Barbar and Nightmare Shark access. And we see Sekka's Light and Sarveus, just everything from this deck going crazy a little bit. Sarveus going up here to $9 from, I think, a market price that was actually at $3 this morning, so actual sales are happening, causing the market price to even out quicker than we typically see. Sekka's Light here, just going up a little. There's still a lot of copies for cheap, but you'd have to find other cards from these sellers. But the cheapest here, I think, are these European prints right here from Weiss Card Place, 40 cents, shipping included. I think is my math right? If you get all six, yeah, if you get all six, you should be able to get them in. So pretty cool stuff there. But still, these are the lowest you can grab all at once. Barely up, barely up. But you might want to consider getting yours now if you've held off. No guarantee that these will be anywhere near the Megatons. Actually, they're Flood. Flood's the first non-Megaton set, isn't it? So it's good for a while. Not bad. And Dante, the DUEA version, is spiking a little, even for the unlims. But the rest very near market price. Probably because people figure when we get the link, we'll get some kind of reprint or easy access to Dante, so people aren't going as crazy, or they already had Dantes because a lot of people did grab them for the links. They're not going as crazy on the market as the rest of the techs for the deck, and that's probably why I don't see a reason to go out and grab Dantes unless you for some reason didn't have them. And if you weren't interested in the deck now or before, really you shouldn't be bandwagoning and getting it now. There's actually a lot of fine nuances in the deck that you need to learn, and just picking it up and going with it for Nationals might not be the best idea. Like I said, dedicated players, like ABC players, Mermail players, and Burning Abyss tend to be the ones that do the best with their deck. Elephant also, just to note, it's actually pretty accessible here on TCG Player. You couldn't get these from ARG unless you get another card, but that's an easy place to get another card from. We continue on. Remember, you have to buy a minimum of $2. So a lot of copies, it's really hard to actually get this card without buying something else from a seller. But over on eBay, it's worth it to find another seller because these are a minimum of dollars. Because any common is usually that on eBay because of fees, stamp, etc. But only 14 results for Elephant. And it does somewhat quickly go up. You can get playsets for actually relatively cheap. All right, didn't see those. So you can get 2 playsets for relatively cheap. One from Canada, though. Another from Canada. Okay, there's multiple. These are fine on eBay. Never mind. I thought the 14 results would be bad quantities, but for now they're good. You do want to consider getting this, though. It's a common from D-Rev, which has gone up very, very, very high in the past comparatively, like $2 a piece, and gotten hyped to the point of a buyout before. So keep that in mind. This Beast Earth Tuner does have potential. It has seen play before, and it could again. Next up, we have, I've just been looking around, and there's some traits of this duels pack that have flipped around. We actually see Toon Kingdom on the rise still, towards $6 now, $6.50, etc. But Rainbow Bridge down to the $4 mark. I think this is a pretty good pickup, but I have no clue where it will actually land. And they could just toss a reprint in anywhere. So suddenly, Legendary Duelist, well, that's what this is, but a random reprint of this pack, or a random Legendary deck with Jesse Anderson, who knows. So people kind of straying away from this card for some reason, but I think it's a pretty good pickup long term. But where does it realistically go without meta play? There is that point. Toon Kingdom, though, has always been a fan favorite, and even as a rare, is just going up. It's really weird. Let's look up Toon Kingdom in general. Last we looked, I think this was around, you know, 450. It's just trailing up. And the secrets have trailed back all the way to about 17s. Not a bad recovery at all for a collector's card. Not bad at all. Another card that's kind of slipped down that you might want to think of, pendulums are still a thing, but I don't know if you'll be siding for them in this meta. Around $3 for the First Ed Mega Packs, and even $4.50-ish, $4.64 for First Ed Near Mints from Inob. These have gone down a lot since, you know, not everyone's playing Pendulum Magicians now, and it's not always the most viable side, but it's something to consider for past formats because Zoo format is popular, as we will see in this market watch, such as Whiptail getting a buyout again. This happened a while ago. This isn't super fresh, but it's been bought out multiple times. It keeps happening. The Super's 10 cents. The ultis here just keep getting bought out, oddly enough. People do like this format. It could be the next Dragon Rulers, so people might want to go back and play it. It definitely did define a generation of dueling, so the end of the XC's era. Dimensional Barrier is something you might want to consider having in original rarity for around $5 a piece for First Ed. Like, that's pretty good, and we see it's competitive throughout. You can get multiple playsets around that price. 10 copies here by Duelist Academy. It's definitely a decent pickup right now for its original rarity. We see original Pot of Dualities. Of course, that can be played in way more decks. It's not a counter strategy. It's a progressive strategy, sitting still around 13 to 16s, I believe. So it's interesting to see this kind of thing happening with Whiptail, and then considering a card like this for that format as well. Highest rarity. Something going down that I highly underestimated and I've seen combos for and I wouldn't underestimate is Photon Sanctuary. It has been going back down very well. Mosaic Rares, not what I want to show you. The Secret Rares even have gone back down towards, I believe, the $4 mark. Oh, is this actually the secret? Yeah, this is the secret. We have a listing for like $250, $250, etc. So definitely something you guys might want to consider getting now. Remember, it spiked all the way to $8, and now it's back down to 2s for the secret. The commons, relatively easy to pick up as well at around $230. So very similarly priced actually to the secret rares that you can just go and grab here. I just want to double check. I'm not seeing things because last night I don't think this was here. Yeah, you have $3, $250, $250, multiple copies to be picked up, but they're independent sellers. They'll go fast. Then you see $345, $350 over here on eBay. So a deal on TCG Player to be had for a couple, but there's multiple under that $4 range. I underestimated it. It definitely takes ABC to another level once again. The Light Link Monster will abuse this. I think it's pretty darn good. And I initially thought it was a bad buyout. I've been changed on that. And just a card I didn't know was worth money still. Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon is around the $5 mark for even the unlimbs. And that's pretty interesting to me. I was just looking through my cards, saw this price, and I was like, huh. That's pretty cool. It never had a reprinting. It actually goes with the Phantom Knights, and everybody's about to have Phantom Knights, so pretty nice card that you might want to consider either, you know, watching because Phantom Knights are going to be on the come up, or, you know, just deciding to sell because it might be something you didn't even know was worth value. If somebody told me 2 to 3 before, if I was lazy and didn't check, it might be out of my binder. It just might be. And then, oh, this was just a discussion in Zodiac. We were talking about the cards with the most rarities, and it goes, I think, MST, Blue Eyes, and then Cyber Dragon, because Stardust was also in the conversation. But it's just an interesting conversation that maybe we'll look at in the future on the channel. But thanks for watching today's Market Watch. I hope you guys did enjoy it. What do you think of me showing cards like this? Just cards I personally didn't know the price of. Maybe you already did and you find it a little boring, or maybe you find it interesting with actual relevance, such as the Phantom Knights getting reprinted in Battles of Legend and having their legendary deck coming up. Do you want me to show cards like this and Dimensional Barrier that are not necessarily going somewhere, but I personally think do have potential when we look at other trends in the market? I kind of like showing that stuff off, but I do want to know what you guys think, and what do you think about just people jumping towards the hype of a European event? And it's not their WCQ, it is their Nationals, but I think it does have huge ramifications for what we'll actually see at our Nationals and see people trying out. Making Nat Beast is never a joke. Never underestimate Nat Beast. Ogre's really kind of gone out of this format, so Nat Beast might just have a field day at our WCQ here in the USA, here in Texas. But again, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see ya around.